So it's recording. Okay, well, I think we're ready to begin. So welcome to the Applied Cognition and Neuroscience orientation for the Master's Program in Applied Cognition and Neuroscience. My name is Richard Goldberg. I'm the program head of the Master's Program in Applied Cognition and Neuroscience program. Melanie Davis, stand up, is the academic support officer for the program. And the two of us will be working to help you get through this program. Melanie Davis is the person you would sort of generally contact for, you know, have I been accepted? What's the status of my application? You need to register your courses through her, and she also can provide advising help. And if you have like some more complicated advising questions, or you are wondering what to do with the rest of your life, then consider making an appointment with me. Okay, so moving forward, so we're excited to have you in our program. We want to maximize your learning experience and help you pursue new career directions. And we want to make this process fun and enjoyable. So our Applied Cognition and Neuroscience program has coursework in a variety of different areas: cognition, neuroscience, neurological diagnosis and monitoring, human-computer interactions, and computational modeling and machine learning. And we'll learn about these different specialization areas shortly. The program is multidisciplinary. It emphasizes novel integrations of neuroscience, psychology, computer science, and human-centered design. And the reason it does that is because the philosophy of the program is that understanding the brain and mind is a multidisciplinary problem. It's not that you can't get all the answers by studying psychology, you can't get all the answers studying neuroscience, you can't get all the answers studying psychology and neuroscience. You have to look to many different fields, such as anthropology, maybe artificial intelligence, and many other areas. And so that's our approach. And in particular, at UTD, we have 5 particular specialization areas that you have the option of focusing on: neuroscience, cognition and neuroscience, human-computer interactions, neurological diagnosis and monitoring, computational modeling, and machine learning. And each ACN student has to declare exactly what specialization area. Now, if you're just coming in and you're not sure what specialization area that you want to focus on, that's great. I mean, this is your opportunity to explore. So maybe you say, I mean, you might say, I mentioned all of them, you know, which is fine. Just let us know. But probably more realistically, if you're not interested in one particular specialization area, you're probably interested in probably 2 of them and maybe 3. And so you still have to declare one specialization area, but just let us know when you're registering for classes, kind of that you're thinking of these other ones also, so we can kind of help be strategic in advising. You can modify your choice of specialization area at any time. And so I'll talk about this later, but you can't register for the course yourself. And the reason why is that we kind of like to micromanage the students and try to make sure that, because it is a multidisciplinary program, that they're on track. Okay, so for the neuroscience specialization area, the core coursework is we recommend that you take, to satisfy that requirement, we recommend that you take 2 of the following courses: systems neuroscience, functional neuroanatomy, and cellular neuroscience. And then for the methods requirement, we recommend research methods 1 and research methods 2. Now, there's other choices you can do to satisfy these requirements. And so if you're interested in other choices, talk to us. Specialization area coursework, the condition is satisfied by taking 4 courses from in the neuroscience specialization area. Examples include neuropharmacology, functional brain imaging, brain connectivity, aging of the nervous system, neurobiology of learning and memory, neurophysiology, and neuroimmunology, and others. And also, if, for example, you did not take, suppose you took systems, neuroscience, and functional neuroanatomy in your core coursework, then you can just, if you want I'd recommend it, consider taking cellular neuroscience as one of your specialization area courses. We have some of the top researchers in neuroscience teaching our courses. You're in the same courses as the PhD students. And the career opportunities, some examples of career opportunities include going on to med school, PhD programs, clinical programs, neuropharmacology, and health services. The second specialization area is cognition and neuroscience. And so for the core coursework requirement here, we recommend that you take one neuroscience course and one cognitive psychology-oriented course. You might pick one of the following system from, pick either systems neuroscience or functional neuroanatomy or cellular neuroscience. I'm leaning towards a little bit more towards taking systems neuroscience as the first choice. And then for the second course, cognitive psychology or cognitive science, probably leaning a little more towards cognitive psychology. Methods course, again, we recommend research methods 1 and research methods 2, but there's other options available. Oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So if we took 2 core courses and 2 methods courses during the program, the rest could be like.
Yeah, so there's 2 core courses and there's 2 methods courses, and there's 4 specialization area courses, and there's the internship requirement, and there's a lot of flexibility in what those core methods courses are, which is why we don't let you register on your own. So we kind of want to make sure that you're on track. But we want to keep this a multidisciplinary program. We want to make sure that you take courses that you are you're interested in that move you forward. Do not take, if you feel like you're taking if you say, gee, this course doesn't seem to really fit in with my career objectives and I already know it, and it seems like it would be a waste of time, but I need to take it in order to graduate. You need to talk to Melanie Davis or myself, because we do not want you to take a single course that you feel is a waste of time and stuff you already know, just for the purposes of graduation. Yeah.
And our seminar-based courses could be considered.
Yes, you can take seminar-based courses in HCS, for example, SAS body school. Cognition neuroscience specialization area, and specialization area courses: neuropharmacology, functional brain imaging, aging in the nervous system, perception, cognitive development, genes, brain behavior. For example, the cognitive neuroscience of human memory, that's a seminar course. Some of these seminar courses will remain seminar courses. Some of them will be converted into regular courses. There's going to be some catalog updates this year. Okay, so cognitive neuroscience career pathways. Medical school, again, PhD programs, clinical programs, neuropsychology, neuropharmacology, health services, and clinical related career direction. So when you do the, 1 second, let me just, So I just want to emphasize that when you do the neuroscience specialization area, you can do that and you will have a master's degree in neuroscience, which is just as solid or more solid than any other master's degree in neuroscience anywhere in the country. Similarly, for the master's program in for the specialization area in cognition and neuroscience, that is a solid master's degree in the area of cognitive neuroscience. So, and experimental psychology. Yeah, go ahead.
The first was just to check ACN 5312.
Could you talk a little louder, please?
Sorry. I wanted to check that ACN 5312 has 60 people. Research methods.
53.
Yes, 5312 is now intro to research methods, and now 6312 is intermediate to research methods.
Oh, they changed that?
Yeah, so they just changed it, just went into the catalog this
It's in
fall.
it's this catalog?
Yeah,
Okay.
it started this, so
Okay, so
pretty much all ACN students are in the 5312,
Okay.
which will count as your.
okay, so I'll be updating this PowerPoint probably to address that. Yeah, go ahead. Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah,
And I also wanted to ask about the island.
I'm getting to this.
Okay.
So neurological diagnosis and monitoring specialization area. This specialization area, it should be considered to be, if you're like interested in neuroscience, but you want to sort of like have a strong career pathway option in addition to the normal career pathway options for neuroscience, then this is a specialization area you might want to consider. Basically, your core coursework would basically be similar to somebody doing the neuroscience specialization area, though I added neurophysiology to the core coursework. For the methods, recommending interoperative neurophysiological monitoring and IONM practicum, but there's other choices. And in specialization areas, there's coursework, there's IONM special topics, which varies from year to year. Like some years it might be IOM of the spinal cord, another year it might be IONM of some other IONM of some other system. And neuropharmacology, functional brain imaging, these are just other types of neuroscience courses that are great for this specialization area. So for career paths, we do have a strong reputation in this area, and our program provides you with training to pass the national IONM exam. However, you won't be allowed to take the exam because you have to have a certain number of clinical hours, like 100 clinical hours, I think, in order to even take the national exam. So the way we've been doing it very successfully for decades is that once you graduate and you're hired by an IONM company, they will pretty much the majority of IOM companies, or all of them, will pay you and to complete the provide you with the clinical training experience and pay you during that time period, and then you can get the certification. And so the career opportunities include both technician positions and managerial positions. So one option, of course, is a hospital, but another option, which I think is kind of a little more interesting here, is there's private IONM companies, okay, and they sort of and so the hospitals actually, go to these private IONM companies and hire out technicians. And so what's kind of cool about that is that you're sort of doing something different all the time. And then also within that company, you have an opportunity to move up. You should, regardless of your specialization area, and even if this is your first semester, the first semester here, I say, go home tonight and look for a job. Okay, this is the time to be looking for a job in your first semester as an ACN student. Don't be looking for a job in your last semester, because if you look for the job in the first semester, you can see, oh, these are the things I'm interested in. These are the career paths that I'm kind of interested in. And that's the availability of that kind of job. And these are the skills that they're looking for. And then we can make sure when we're doing our advising to make sure that you get those skills and you're well prepared to apply for those positions. So we can provide you more effective advising if you have a clearer vision about what particular career objective you're seeking. But we can't, we don't know what you're interested in. So this is a good time to kind of figure out for yourself and explore what you're interested in. Okay, so the next specialization area, did that answer your question about the IONM? The next specialization area is human-computer interaction specialization area. It's UX research, also called usability engineering. So what is UX research? UX research is the field that's concerned generally with human-computer interaction, specifically developing human-computer interfaces that have high usability or user-friendliness. And UX research uses behavioral science research methodologies to evaluate how specific subpopulations interact with the technology. For example, websites, smartphones, voice user interfaces, and so on. So you actually need to have the exact training we're providing you with, behavioral research methods, to do this kind of work. If you want to learn more about this, here's a bunch of hyperlinks so you can kind of go to these hyperlinks. I guess some of these, actually, the last two links are need to be updated. So So I'll update those. But let me kind of talk a little bit more about this area. So suppose we have a grandmother that's not really expert in today's modern technologies, and she needs to order knitting supplies. So the idea is that if she's having difficulty using the website to order the knitting supplies, then the knitting supply company is basically going to go out of business. All right, it's these days in the 21st century, it's the response. There's a lot of it's expected that if people can't use your website, then they don't have the problem. Your website has the problem. So what we need to do in order to figure this out, getting a bunch of mathematicians into hiring mathematicians isn't going to solve the problem. Hiring expert computer programmers is not going to solve the problem. Okay, hiring expert computer scientists. We need to hire psychologists because we need to get some grandmas into the lab. Come on, grandmas. Get them into the lab and do experiments on the grandmas. Okay, and that's what we need to do in order to make sure that our website is usable. And so here we see grandma going, I can use this website to order knitting supplies. Now, now notice that this is called UX research. That's different from UX. Okay, UX is user experience, and that's more general. So UX includes as a special case UX research or usability engineering. That is, grandma can use the website, but then the website has to really work, has to have functional value. So, and then finally, it has to look really cool. Like grandma goes, oh, wow, this awesome website. I love it. So here we have grandma loving to use this website to order knitting supplies. It's so much fun. So, so for the coursework here, we're looking at, for the coursework, choose two of the following for your core coursework. Recommend cognitive psychology, perception, cognitive science, or foundations of HCI. And for methods, choose two methods from this list. Research methods 1 and research methods 2 are really good for this area. Even though they don't have like the HCI label on them, they're really, really great for this area. Applied human-computer interaction is you'll learn what you'd actually do out there in the field. And quantitative usability engineering is a brand new course which is just coming out, or just came out. I think it started this semester or next semester. But it's either this semester. If it's not offered this semester, it'll be offered next semester. I can't remember. Where somebody has brand. Anyway, the idea of quantitative usability engineering is kind of really cool. Is that how like when you're going on the web and stuff, or people are always tracking you, and they're sort of tracking you usually because they're trying to sell you something, right? Well, this is kind of a similar principle. We're kind of tracking the user, but we're not tracking the user to sell them anything. We're tracking the user to learn more about how they're using the software. And then we're going to use that information to make the software work better. So that's what you learn in that course. And then in the specialization area coursework, you could basically take the core courses that you missed or the methods courses you missed, just move those down into specialization area. More psychology courses is also great. And all 4 of those methods courses are great. And then there's also a course in management information systems, MIS 6396, called user experience design, which is also a really great course for this area. And UX researcher career paths salaries can range from $50K to $125K depending upon your experience. And again, I just recommend going to Indeed.com. You can type in keywords like this and see what's available and see what you're interested in and see what kind of skills are required. Okay. So the next specialization area is computational modeling and machine learning. So machine learning is a subset of AI, and the idea is to implement smart algorithms using machine learning software development environments. That's it. And computational modeling is the idea is that we're going to try to use those machine learning algorithms as models of how uh, humans or animals process information, and looking at both behavioral data and data from neuroscience. And so in this specialization area, we recommend for the core coursework, you take 2 courses from the following: cognitive psychology, systems, neuroscience, functional neuroanatomy, cellular neuroscience, cognitive science, perception. And the reason for this is we want you to, make sure you have a sort of a good background in psychology and neuroscience, so you can sort of apply these machine learning algorithms to problems in the behavioral and neuroscience areas. Methods coursework, again, the research methods 1 and research methods 2 coursework sequence is great, but there's other alternatives. And then for specialization area coursework, we have ACN 5314 is currently called computational modeling. We're going to be changing the name to cognitive computational neuroscience. We have the course multivariate data analysis, which represents research methods 2. And we have the course Python for cognitive neuroscientists, which has no prerequisites, and I'm still trying to figure out the timing of that course. And quantitative usability engineering. Oh, okay, it's offered this semester, so it'll be offered every year also. Let's see. And the neural math and statistical machine learning sequence is a sequence that I teach, and I teach it every other year. And the prerequisite for taking the first course is that you have linear algebra and an upper division course in calculus-based probability theory, and the prerequisite for the second course is the first course. And so in that sequence, you learn about the mathematics underlying the machine learning algorithms. And in the multivariate data analysis course, you learn clustering and unsupervised learning algorithms using R software. That has kind of a limited enrollment, even though it's offered every year. So you have to sort of sign up aggressively for that one. If you have an appropriate background, you can also take graduate coursework in computer science and machine learning. So you can, if you're interested, talk to me about that, and that can count towards your degree. Typically, in order to be successful in this area, you need to be a really good computer programmer. Okay, just like so. And you don't need to be a really good computer programmer to do neuroscience, and you don't have to really be a good programmer. I mean, it helps. The more programming these days, the more programming skills you know, the better. But it's not like super, critical. Same with psychology. Same with HCI, human interactions. But in this area, it's absolutely essential. I have a podcast. I have this podcast episode you can check out on this. And as I said before, the computer science department does have some really great machine learning courses. If you need to take this graduate level course, which has lots of prerequisites, but if you were an undergraduate here and took some maybe CS, I think it's 3345 data structures and algorithms, then that also will allow you to take graduate level machine learning courses from computer science. If you want to take the NeuroNet math sequence, but you don't have like a super strong math background, there's some MIT courses that are free where you can pick up the relevant lower division linear algebra and upper division probability theory. And there's also some data science coursework offered in School of Economic, Political and Policy Sciences as some additional options here. And here's some examples of machine learning labs and centers at UTD. There's not, it's all, of course, it's, machine learning is kind of all over the place these days, but this is just a few examples. And first, career paths, it's a good preparation if your goal is a PhD, if you're interested in a PhD in computational neuroscience or mathematical psychology or computational models of cognition and behavior. There's lots of career opportunities. for data scientists, machine learning engineers, software developers, and so on. Having that psychology and neuroscience combination with the machine learning makes you strong for particular niches. So I sort of tell the story too often, I suppose, but I once got a phone call from somebody in California, and she said that they had put a nationwide search out for somebody to do machine learning data analysis of this neuroimaging data. And she said that they got lots of people who had like all this great expertise in machine learning and no expertise in neuroscience. And they got lots of people applying who had great expertise in neuroscience and no expertise in machine learning. She said, your student in your program kind of rose to the top because she had both of those. So, so I really love that story because even though I tell it too often, but I love that story because it sort of embodies sort of the idea that of kind of where we're going with this particular specialization area. Searching for jobs in machine learning or data science. Here's some keywords, and you can check out the different opportunities on Indeed.com. And there's other search engines too, besides Indeed.com. Going back to the research method sequence. So there's research method sequence, really provides a lot of marketable skills and useful skills for all these specialization areas. You're going into psychology or neuroscience, it's important to be able to design experiments or interpret experiments people have already done. If you're doing data science or machine learning, then the research methods 1 and research methods 2 skills that you learn in that sequence are going to be directly relevant. If you're doing human-computer interaction, that's the basic idea of how to design experiments and analyze the data from those experiments for supporting your usability engineering and user experience research. So that's a really good sequence. However, having said that, if you're going to a PhD program, your plan is to go into a PhD program, you really want to do research, then you might want to focus a little bit more on taking coursework that helps you identify your research interests. And that's really sort of crucial. It's a high priority for you if you want to do research. You should not go into a PhD program unless you really want to do research. If you're not sure about whether you want to get a master's degree, just get the master's degree. It's just 1 year. You'll get paid more. It'll be easier to find a job. Once you're in the job, you'll know what you're supposed to be doing. And it's just an overall good experience. A PhD, it's impossible to get into a PhD program. And then once you get into it, it'll be impossible to get out of the PhD program. And then once you graduate from the PhD program, you'll get paid less than probably your initial starting salary will be much less. And nobody will want to hire you because they want somebody that will do some work instead of goofing off all the time doing research. So, so basically, but if you really want to do research, get a PhD. Okay. I just want to kind of give you an honest assessment of the situation. Oh, here's a new thing that just started a year or so ago. And I don't know how many are aware of the relationship we have with Coursera. Raise your hand. Great. You can take Coursera courses, a certain subset of Coursera courses for free. And I think I like to make the analogy of Coursera to Amazon Music, right? Sort of like there's a bunch, if there's a bunch of free music out there, which you get kind of with Amazon Music, but you have to pay extra to get kind of the full amount. Well, it's kind of like here, where you get a whole bunch of choices here, but you don't get sort of all of them with the UTD setup. So when you go in, and here's the specific ones that I particularly recommend which fit into our programs. Python for data science, AI, and development is part of the IBM Data Science Professional Certificate. Conduct UX research and test early concepts. That's a part of the Google UX Design Professional Certificate. So when you log into, you should probably try logging in with your UTD email, but how do you know that it's recognizing you as a UTD student? You see up in the corner, when you're logged into Coursera, you see a little icon which says UTD on it. If you see that, then you know you're in the right spot. Okay. Okay, network with me on LinkedIn. Not to talk with me, but a lot of my students over several decades have connected with me on LinkedIn. And so this is a great opportunity to connect with me, and then you can kind of look at my secondary contacts and see past graduates from the ACN program and kind of what they're doing, and maybe even text them a message or two. Okay, so there's an internship research requirement with the program. The purpose of this internship research requirement is to provide you with practical experience to improve your post-graduation career opportunities. It's a great experience. Even just sort of getting the internship is a great experience because it's kind of just like looking for a job on the job market. There's a 6-hour internship research requirement. You may replace a portion of this requirement with, or all of it, with 1 or 2 courses if you get permission from myself, the program head. The general rule of thumb is about 10 hours a week for 15 weeks is about 3 credit hours. The internship may be on campus or off campus. Melanie Davis has a list of some potential off-campus opportunities. You can find other opportunities on campus by checking out some of these hyperlinks. Oh, so how not to seek out an internship or research opportunity? Hi, do you have any internships available? I guarantee people always say no. Okay. Don't do that. Okay, so instead say, hello, my name is blank. You can actually copy and paste this and then just fill in the blanks on your own. Nobody's really noticed it's a form. But hello, my name is Richard Golden. I'm currently a graduate student in the Applied Cognition and Neuroscience program at the University of Texas at Dallas. I noticed that you are doing research in the area of nuclear physics of cell membranes. And I'm very interested in the nuclear physics of cell membranes. And I was wondering if I could set up a 20-minute meeting with you to learn more about what type of research you're currently doing in this area. And hopefully you tried to look at some of the papers that they've published, but try to be specific and maybe even mentioning one of the papers that they're working on, because usually a lot of the professors are working on many different areas. And then notice how I cleverly in this yellow part did not say that I was looking for an internship, ever. Okay, and then I'm listening to them during the meeting, trying to figure out if I really think it's interesting or not. Okay, and if I do think it's interesting, then I say thank you for meeting with me. I really enjoyed the meeting. I was particularly interested in this one thing that you were working on. You possibly participated as a member of your lab or research. And if you weren't interested in what they were saying, just say, "Oh, this is so great! Thank you so much." You know, and so that's how I would sort of recommend you approach that. PhD programs. So some of you are interested in applying to PhD programs, and so I do not apply to PhD program until you've clearly identified your research interests. One way to do that is to identify your research interests by looking at the journal articles published by different faculty members and seeing if those journal articles are of interest to you. Another way you can do it is you can go to scientific conferences in your area of interest. I mean, not go to them, but like go to them on the web and look at the different papers that are available and see like, well, what conference papers or journal articles am I particularly interested in? And then once you've sort of identified that, then you can talk with me about maybe which faculty members at UTD are pursuing work in those areas. Okay, and then as far as writing a statement of purpose for a PhD program, so the statement of purpose is extremely important. You know, lots of times students sort of panic. They go, "Oh my God, you know, I don't have a good GPA. I maybe haven't taken the right courses. I don't know what those professors are writing about me in those letters of reference." You know, so these are all things that you don't have control over. But in fact, the statement of purpose, which is the thing you have the most control over, is in fact probably one of the most influential pieces of information that's used in the review process of PhD applicants. So what's a good strategy for writing a PhD statement of purpose? So at the very end, so just first write it backwards. So you start at the very end with a brief statement saying like, so I'm interested in being a professor of cognitive neuroscience or something like that. Some clear statement. Oops, wrong direction. And then the next part right there is you'd say, provide 2 or 3 examples of the types of research projects you'd like to pursue as a PhD student. And then provide an explicit statement about the general area of research which you intend to pursue, which you're interested in pursuing as a PhD student, because we don't know what you're interested in. And then above that, then you can talk about the research experiences you might have had as a master's student or as undergraduate. They don't have to necessarily be, they might be aligned perfectly with what you want to do as a PhD student, or they might not. But you notice how I'm kind of separating them out in this particular way. Ideally, try to present this overview in such a way that it makes your case that you're well prepared to pursue research in the area stronger. And relevant coursework. So again, steps 2 and 3 are relevant coursework, relevant research experience. Try to talk about don't talk about your coursework and your undergraduate or graduate master's degree research experience in sort of an abstract laundry list kind of fashion. Talk about it with the idea that you're trying to show that you have, you're trying to demonstrate that you've acquired some of the skills that are going to be important for you to be successful in pursuing your PhD work. And at the very beginning, start with a very clear statement regarding what PhD program you're applying to, and make sure to explicitly list what undergraduate and graduate degrees you have. Okay, so some more technical details, enrollment details. So when you enroll for classes using Qualtrics or UTD email by emailing Melanie Davis, you can't enroll yourself. Academic probation, you need to maintain a B average, or you will be, asked, maybe not asked to leave, you'll be forced. I should really replace that with forced to leave the university. So there's plenty of, if your grade point average drops below a B average in the first semester, then you get like a warning. If it's in the second semester, then technically the university is going to kick you.
2 enrolling semesters to bring that GPA up.
Oh, you have 2.
3.0. So
if it drops to below a B one semester, and then it drops to below a B a second semester, you're still okay,
you're
right?
still good, yeah. And you're
But then if it's a third,
second enrolling, so the first semester you did bad, you got to enroll again. You get 2 chances to enroll after that. Do not bring it up, you will be dismissed.
yeah.
Just
So, and so sometimes what we try to do is we sometimes will try to make a case if we think it's appropriate, if we have a plan for you to kind of get back on track. So we might submit a request to the Dean of Graduate Studies of the entire university to say, hey, we have a academic
missile.
academic recovery plan. Is that what you call it?
Yes.
And anyway, we have an academic recovery plan. Here it is for the student, and they've agreed to follow it. And that requires that the student be given permission to enroll for an additional semester. And sometimes they accept our request, and sometimes they don't. So, we try. Melanie and I try as much as we can to never let it get to the point where the Dean of Graduate Studies is involved. So that's why we're talking about. I mean, we all think you're great students, right? But the problem is that sometimes you just, maybe you took a particularly heavy load one semester and there were certain prerequisites, or maybe something just went wrong with one of those exams, which you didn't anticipate. I'm sure you had that experience as an undergraduate, some freak exam or some freak course, and then kind of goes haywire. And that might, send you into this direction. So we're trying to kind of just keep a good communication channel with us. Graduation, when you're ready to graduate, you have to declare you're ready to graduate at the very beginning of the semester, right?
Right. And I'll send plenty of emails. You guys get sick of my emails, I think. But I'll let you know too, hey, you're eligible. I'll make you eligible. If you feel like I haven't made you eligible, just reach out to me like, Melanie, I think I'm supposed to be graduating. And I can make you eligible if I haven't already. Usually I've already done that, but.
Yeah, so, and so just for the people in the virtual land, to repeat that, basically Melanie Davis will send out an email at the beginning of the semester saying, hey, you know, if you're graduating this semester, make sure to contact me. Personal emergencies, these sometimes come up, you know, you might have a personal emergency crisis, a personal health crisis or a personal health crisis with one of your family or some other crisis where you really, the ACN program is really the last thing you really care about. You don't even care about anything, you know. In those situations, all you need to do is just send a one-line email to Melanie Davis saying, I've got a personal crisis going on, and I need to take a leave of absence from the university. That's all you have to do. Just one sentence. She's not gonna, you don't need to go back and forth with an email stream. That's all you need to do. That's going to make it very easy to, if you come back when you can do a leave of absence for up to a year. It'll be very easy for the next semester or even 2 semesters later to just kind of keep on going where you left off without losing any of the courses that you've already done or having to reapply to the master's program. Okay. Here's some helpful resources. Again, the PowerPoint and the video will be posted on the master's ACN website. But some hyperlinks to catalog, academic calendar, comment card, and so on. There's a graduate student life assembly at UTD where to represent the graduate student body. And that's our presentation. Thank you very much for your attention. And we are happy to take questions at this point. Yeah, go ahead. About the, sorry, I apologize.
Sorry, about applying for the PhD program.
Okay, applying for the PhD program, yes.
I know that there's a deadline for I believe it's next month.
That's correct.
Is there also an opportunity, are you allowed to apply to the student entry or?
The PhD program, there's only, you can only start the PhD program in the fall, but sometimes you might be able to start it in the summer. So if you're, suppose you apply, not necessarily the summertime. So if you apply, there's only one application time for the PhD program in our university, in the School of Behavioral Brain Sciences, and that's in December. And so you apply to that, and then you might find out in January, February that you're accepted, and then you might be able to maybe start in the summer, but the official, most students usually start in the fall. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm wondering the neural computational modeling. It is more similar to the how brain work or the how computer work, and if we take the courses in this area, it's beneficial to me or to do some research in neuroscience, or it's more beneficial to do some engineering.
Both. It's both. Yeah. So the way I like to explain it is suppose that you were suppose you develop a speech recognition algorithm that works really well. And the really cool thing about it is that the structure of the algorithm is based upon what we know about the neuroscience. And also the really cool thing about it is that when it makes mistakes, it makes the same kinds of perceptual confusion errors that people do. Okay? And the other cool thing about this algorithm that you've invented is that it works better than any other speech recognition algorithm on the planet. Okay, so now you take the speech recognition algorithm and you go over to computer science and say, hey, look what I came up with. Can I get a PhD for this? Oh, sure. We'll give you a PhD for this. We'll give you a PhD because it works better than any speech recognition algorithm on the planet. And we love the stuff about the psychology and the neuroscience, but we're not giving you the PhD for that. But put that in your PhD thesis. That's cool. Then you take that same algorithm, you bring it over to behavior and brain sciences. Can I get a PhD for that? So, oh, yeah, sure. We'll give you a PhD for that. We love the fact that it makes, that's based upon what we know about the current neuroscience, and it's consistent with neuroscience data. And we like the fact that it makes perceptual confusion errors the way people do. And, we really don't care that it works better than other speech recognition algorithms, but put that in the PhD thesis. That's pretty cool. So the point is that when you use the exact same computational tools in computational neuroscience or computational models in behavioral sciences as you do in machine learning. It's just that you're using these tools to achieve different objectives. So if you're like interested in a PhD program in computational neuroscience, then I would strongly recommend that you take lots of neuroscience courses and not just a bunch of machine learning courses in the master's program, but you're strategic about which machine learning courses you do take. And so you might say, well, every semester I'll take maybe a ratio, like I'll take 1 or 2 neuroscience courses and I'll take